We would like to apologize for the break-in transmission. This was due to Zesco power failure. We welcome you to the Radio Icengelo main news. Radio Icengelo restoring everything in Christ with love and truth. Good afternoon with the main news. I'm Kennedy Mbewe Jr. Here are the headlines. First consignment of free COVID vaccine AstraZeneca to arrive on Monday. Bishop Benjamin Bury held. Fred Chimenga says financial challenges are affecting Kana's performance. Kindly be reminded that we are also streaming live on the Radio Icengelo Facebook page to you following us on our social media. The details. The first consignment of the free COVID-19 vaccine AstraZeneca will arrive on Monday, April 12, 2021, according to Health Minister Jonas Chanda. The consignment, which is under the COVAX basket, will consist of an initial 228,000 doses of the COVID-19 Shield vaccine, and it is one of the vaccines in the basket approved by Cabinet. Speaking when he gave an update on COVID-19 vaccination in Parliament this morning, Dr. Chanda said 20% of the eligible population above 18 years will voluntarily get the vaccine. Dr. Chanda has since urged the general public not to fall prey to the myths and misconception about the vaccine.
Vaccines under the COVAX facility is scheduled to arrive at Kenneth County International Airport on Monday, 12 April 2021 at 14:35 hours. This consignment will consist of an initial 228,000 doses of the Covishield vaccine, commonly known as AstraZeneca, manufactured by the Serum Institute of India. This is only one of the vaccines in the baskets approved by Cabinet. COVAX facility, as I said in the administration statement, will cover 20% of the eligible adult population above 18 years old. That is 3,676,701 people. While the rest of the 46%, 26% will be covered under the other pillars, under the vaccine program. People are urged not to fall prey to myths, misconceptions, and conspiracy theories.
Now, a suspected serial killer that has been slaying women in Quito today appeared in court for mention. The matter was, however, adjourned by Magistrate Chongo Msonda to 23rd April 2021 for another mention. The suspect, Miguel Isam Sonda, aged 27, has been remanded at Kamfinsa Correctional Facility. This is according to Copperbelt Police Chief Elias Chushi. Cathedral of Christ the King community in Indola has held Bishop Benjamin Bury as he celebrates his 10th episcopate anniversary today. Bishop Bury was ordained as auxiliary bishop of Chipata Diocese on 9th April 2011 and was appointed bishop of Indola last year by Pope Francis. Cathedral Administrator Father Lewis Mtachila said the community is wishing Bishop Bury God's blessings on his 10th anniversary as bishop. Father Mtachila spoke to Radio Icengelo News in Indola.
And indeed, on my own behalf, would like to congratulate you for clocking 10 years as bishop. We can only wish you God's abundant blessings as you shepherd God's people in this local church of the Catholic Diocese of Indola.
Meanwhile, Bishop Bury's Thanksgiving, Cathedral of Christ the King chairperson Dexter Ngwira has wished Bishop Bury good health. Meanwhile, Bishop Bury's Thanksgiving Mass will be held tomorrow in the Cathedral of Christ the King in Indola. We now go to Chilabombo, where residents are analyzing the performance of elected leaders ahead over this year's elections, according to Patrick Mupeta.
Elections on 12th August 2021. Those serving and those vying for various positions have already started making promises. Chilabombo constituency youth chairman Samson Chisambo, who is also Chilabombo mayoral aspiring candidate under the Patriotic Front Party, said the district has had a fair share of development.
and research is something that is going to drive everyone that he thinks the Patriot Front deserves another term come 12 August. I must bring to your attention that Patriot Front has delivered unprecedented infrastructure development, good policies for the people of Zambia. When you bring it back to Chirabomwe, we have JT Mshikita, main hospital. It's a very good state of art.
But some Chirabomwe residents are not impressed with the performance of some elected leaders.
Kulanda kwatu Chirabomwe tapawe fubatana mfimo konka ngefu abantu bayishanya because valitira ko batiyonga mwatu pisha ifwe tukesa pangense umpipiza mbya mishitwa miswira lombo kushikana lero tapawe pana mfimo chitika kuti tafinga tawa votere vefine bamba no kuyanga tawa kwatu amalo titali bwira naliko bera chumvotere bale chipontera no pontera fo bantu fo pera mavoti lomba olomwaka bale mwera kukwela.
And Caritas Zambia Chingwala District Coordinator Eugene Molenga is urging the electorates to continue analyzing the performance of elected leaders, especially those seeking re-adoption.
It's very important that as electorates we begin to scrutinize and evaluate these members of parliament that have served before. It will be important to see or to scrutinize them or to analyze them using their promises as a benchmark.
As the saying goes, a person should not labor to explain their success, but instead success should speak for them. Reporting for Radio Icengelo News, I'm Patrick Mpeta in Chirabomwe.
Thank you very much, Patrick, for that report. Let's now go to Luansha, where the council has acquired a new global positioning system, GPS machine, which is used for various land surveying works at a cost of 290,000 kwacha. And Luansha Mayor Nathan Chandawali, who inspected the newly acquired equipment at the Civic Center, expressed optimism that the new GPS would help to end the problem of double plot allocations and resolve some pending issues where land alienation is concerned. The mayor noted that the acquisition of the modern GPS will enable clients who pay for survey fees to get their value for money they pay for services. Meanwhile, Luansha Town Clerk Timothy Mambalakata said the acquisition of the GPS model CHCI 50 will play a crucial role in improving the council's land management and service delivery. He said the acquisition of the equipment will help the council overcome land surveying challenges, apart from also clearing some pending land allocation issues. This is according to a media statement issued by Luansha Municipal Council Public Relations Manager Gideon Tole. A prominent lawyer, Kelvin Waliafuwe, has announced that he will not file his nomination papers as PF party president, but has maintained that he will contest as Republican president in the August 12 general elections. Speaking at a press briefing in Lusaka this morning, Mr. Fuwe said he wants to adhere to the rule of law, adding that the Republican Constitution has to be followed to the latter.
I have decided not to lodge my application, despite being a member of the Patriotic Front, in good standing, for the following reasons. I have stated on several occasions and on different platforms the importance of adhering to the rule of law. I maintain that my older brother, the president, Edgar Chagwa, is not eligible to stand as Republican president. And as a lawyer, he knows this. He has held the office of president twice, having been elected 2 times. There is no third term in our constitution.
Mr. Fuwe has also castigated the party Central Committee, saying its mandate ended in 2016.
That purported to endorse the candidature of Edgar Chagwa as the sole candidate is an illegal Central Committee. The Central Committee was formally elected in 2011. Their mandate came to an end in 2016. I raised that issue in 2016. that the mandate of the Central Committee had come to an end. This Central Committee is comprised of members who have been appointed and nominated by one person, the President. Now, just stop and think with me. This is the person who gives you a position to hold in the Central Committee. The same person now says to you, endorse me, and you endorse him. Are we playing childish games here? This is a democratic process which must be respected in the highest order.
Kelvin Walia for in sports. Nkana striker Fred Chimenga says financial challenges are affecting the team's performance. Nkana yesterday lost to Forest Rangers by 2-1 to remain in the relegation zone. In a post-match interview, Chimenga said Nkana players are trying their best under difficult conditions. He, however, said players will continue working hard to improve Nkana's performance.
Some issues, but it's not important for me to say it here. But we are in struggle that about our sponsors maybe, but I don't know. But we are fighting. You can even see, even if we are losing, but you can see the spirit of everyone. We are pushing, but we are still in bad. But I can say bad record that we are down on the local, but we are still pushing. Then I'm sure we are going to push up and to be there.
This news broadcast comes to you in the community service of Radio Icengelo with compliments of Musa Milling and GoTV Broadcasting Zambia Limited. In foreign news, the Nigerian military has said 11 army personnel, including a commander who had been declared missing after an ambush in the central state of Benue, have been found dead. The bodies, some charred, were found in Konshinsha area of the state, the army spokesperson told the BBC. She described the attack as a heinous crime, adding that efforts are underway to track down the perpetrators. There have been reports that troops have fired indiscriminately, killing a number of civilians in response to the attack on soldiers. The Nigerian military has denied the allegations. We monitored the BBC with more stories from around the world.
Warned of a difficult crisis ahead as human rights groups say the country faces dire food shortages and economic instability. Speaking at a party conference, Mr. Kim appeared to compare the situation to a deadly famine in the 1990s when the fall of the Soviet Union left North Korea without aid. It's thought the leader may be ensuring the warnings come from him so he can blame officials later. The BBC's Alistair Coleman explains what led to the development.
Several things are all coming together at the worst possible time for North Korea. Most of this is COVID related. They sealed the borders at the beginning of last year, and trade with their principal trade partner China has collapsed by as much as 80%. So they're just not getting the food that they need to feed the people. They've also been cracking down on street market, and there's sort of a lot less movement around the country than there used to be. So yeah, things are really, really difficult at the moment.
The Philippine Armed Forces are investigating reports that Chinese fast attack boats chased a Philippine civilian vessel in the South China Sea. A spokesman said it was concerned about what it described as alleged harassment. Howard Johnson in Manila has the details.
A team of ABS-CBN, which is a local news network, were heading towards the second Thomas Shoal, also known as a Yungan Shoal in the Philippines. They were going to visit some Philippine military people stationed there, but as they approached, they were chased down by these two attack catamarans. They were camouflaged in blue and white paint. Now, China have always said that this is a wanton hype-up of a situation. They said that everybody is losing their cool and that this isn't a big deal.
France's health authority is recommending that people under the age of 55 who've been given the first dose of the AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine be given a different jab as a second dose. It follows the conclusion of the European Union medicines regulator that the AstraZeneca jab can, in very rare cases, cause blood clots.
On that note, we end this afternoon's menus on Radio Icengelo. Thank you so very much for listening. For these and more stories, feel free to visit the Radio Icengelo Facebook page or go into Facebook and like the Radio Icengelo page. On behalf of the entire news team, my name is Kennedy Mbewe Jr. Thank you so very much for watching on Facebook, and thank you very much for listening on FM. Of course, remember COVID-19 is real, therefore follow the COVID-19 guidelines. The next news broadcast will be the news summary coming your way at 16 hours. Thank you very much for listening. Have yourself a lovely Friday afternoon.
The main news was brought to you by Moose Milling and GoTV Broadcasting Zambia Limited.
Are you worried about cleaning in the era of COVID-19? Is your environment clean and hygienic? For cleaner